Hi guys, it's me, Mr. Bertoch, your incredibly, wonderfully, terrifically, amazingly handsome science teacher. And in this video, we're going to learn about the tropics and the poles. In another video, I talk about the temperate zones and how these zones, these temperate zones, experience seasons, changing seasons, summer, winter, spring, and autumn. In this video, we're going to talk about the tropics and the poles, which are much less prone to seasons, although there might be some changes throughout the year, but they tend to be much more stable in terms of their weather. And in the case of the tropics, they tend to be warm year-round, like perpetual summer. Hooray! Because who doesn't love warm weather year-round? And then in the case of the poles, they tend to be really cold, like winter, like really, really wintry, super duper extra wintry, because it's really, really cold and miserable year round. Well, I say miserable. Some people maybe like that sort of thing, like they like skiing or whatevs, but I wouldn't want to live where it was cold year round. So what is causing, well, before I say what's causing, where are the tropics and where are the poles? So if you look at a globe, because the Earth is round, it's a planet that's in outer space, and it's round shaped mostly. It's a little bit squished from top to bottom, but mostly it's round. And if you look at the globe, you will see right in the middle, okay, not in real life because it's imaginary, but we draw on a map a line called the equator. And the equator, it means to cut the Earth in half, okay? So it's that midpoint between the North Pole and the South Pole. And the equator is where it is always warm. So the equator, which is halfway between the North Pole and South Pole, is where it is always warm, but not just there, because that would be silly, right? There has to be a little bit of, there's a warm zone, a little bit above and a little bit below the equator where it is also always warm. And that area above and below the equator is called the tropics. And it extends from the equator up to the Tropic of Cancer and down to the Tropic of Capricorn. And the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn are imaginary lines that are about 23-ish, 23 and a half-ish degrees away above and below the equator. And in that region, it is very predictably warm year-round. Now, I get above and below the tropics, so up into the north from the Tropic of Cancer up to the Arctic Circle, then I am in the temperate zone, and I talk about the weather patterns in the temperate zones in another video. Likewise, in the south from the Tropic of Capricorn down to the Antarctic Circle, I am also in the temperate zone. And then once I pass over that imaginary line, the Arctic Circle or the Antarctic Circle, which is at 66 degrees from the equator, then it's cold year-round, or mostly, depending on ocean currents and other things. But for the most part, it's cold and yucky, if you ask me. year round. It's winter all the time. And those are the Arctic or Antarctic regions, the poles. So what is causing this phenomena that we see? Why is it warm in the tropics year round? Why is it cold in the poles year round? It has to do with the shape of the earth. Remember, the shape of the earth. What shape is the earth? The earth is what? Is it square or triangle? No, it's round. And because it's round, where's the heat coming from? All the heat on Earth, well, most of the heat on Earth, because there is internal heat, but most of the heat on Earth is coming from the sun that's shining towards the surface and warming it up. At the equator, the light and heat is hitting the Earth very directly. And because of that, it's more compact, it's more concentrated. As you go up the sides of the Earth towards the poles, the light gets more and more spread out, and the heat get more and more spread out, so that the same amount of light and heat is covering a much greater area. And because of that, you're spreading the heat out across a greater area, and so it doesn't warm the land up nearly as well or brighten it up in terms of light nearly as well. So at the equator, you're getting a lot of concentrated light and heat, and that does a really good job of warming up the surface of the earth. But then when you get out to the poles, it's so spread out that you're getting hardly any light and heat, and so it just doesn't have the ability to warm the surface, the land, nearly as well. Hi guys, thanks for watching my video. These rambling science videos where I go unscripted and just kind of barf up all the science knowledge out of my head are part of a series that go along with an online class that I teach, which you can sign up for if you go to handsomescienceteacher.com. I also have a whole bunch of free resources for homeschoolers. I have hundreds of articles on every topic that covers your entire science curriculum from 5th through 8th grade. I have online games and quizzes, all curated and written by this handsome guy, a science teacher with, well, three degrees, but 2 of them are in science. So it's targeted right to and directly to your science students. So sign up, subscribe to the channel, and I release lots of videos. Also, in addition to these ones, lots of little short videos that are like 2 minutes long that cover science topics. Those ones you don't get to see my handsome face, but they're still good videos and they're much more targeted, and those ones are scripted, so you don't have to hear me like you are right now going blah blah blah. The end. Subscribe. Thank you. Goodbye.